Now, who usually does the scheduling? You have somebody that's like an AD?
Well, that basically falls on my shoulders.
Oh, okay.
That's why, that's where the meetings come in. I'll ask the gentlemen that are at the meetings, how many matches do we want to try to go with next year? Same amount as this year, more or less. And that way it gives me an idea of,
how far to go.
Yeah, and how many throughout the month we want to do. Because we try to average one a weekend. And then we try, sometimes this year we had, 1 month would be, 4, and the next month we might have 2, depending on how the scheduling went. And
so who are the teams? I mean, how far do you have to go travel?
Actually, the farthest club that I'm aware of in the state of Michigan is actually on, I'm drawing a blank now.
Mackinac
Island.
Really?
That's the farthest one away that I'm aware of. They go all the way over to the west side of the state. We normally stay as local as possible. We'll travel to Port Huron, Mount Clemens,
Ohio.
Yeah, we do travel some to Ohio. We actually one of the most popular games that we have, or matches we have. We play at the old Toledo Mud Hen Field, Ned Skeleton.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a club that basically rents that out for the evening, and we'll play a club, and then another club will play as well. A couple clubs will play as well.
Okay.
So we get to play kind of in the old historic baseball field, which is really nice.
You know what? I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, how did or what started this old baseball tradition? I mean, that you have all the teams in the state of Michigan. Are the museum started, or what? The cities?
Pretty much the cities. What they try to do, and what's nice with our historical background, most clubs that are formed after some historical footnote or something that they have in the city that they can say, yeah, we had a team that played back in 1867, like we represent. Like at the museum now, we actually have a scorecard from 1867 from a Wyandotte club that played back then, and that's where we try to represent ourselves from.
Okay. This is really something. You had given us the terminology of a lot of the words.
Right.
You want to run them past real fast? What's your up and down? Your outs? Your what?
Outs are hands down.
Hands down.
Yep. Ground balls hit hard or daisy cutters. When a batter hits the ball, we say well struck. It's
the best one is if an outfielder or even an infielder drops the ball.
Yeah.
It's called a muff. He muffed the ball.
He muffed the ball. Well, so, that's understandable.
I don't know. He dropped it. But
made an error.
Yeah. But the terminology that they had back then was muffed.
So if these people come to watch you guys, they better know some of the verbiage, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And if they have any questions about it, they can approach any of us, while we're standing on the sideline, or by the bench, and they can approach us and ask us why did that happen that way. One of the unique things about the way we play, modern day baseball, the ball's actually got to pass third base before it goes foul. And the way we play, as long as the ball touches fair territory first, it can go
anywhere,
even in foul territory, and it's still a live ball.
Oh, really?
So you have some gentlemen that they, instead of bunting like modern day baseball, they call slap hitting. So they'll slap hit it, and it'll bounce directly in front of the plate and bound in foul territory, and then they're legging it out to first.
How about that?
So.
All right. We were talking about the baseball. We call that a baseball bat or another word?
And they're known. I believe they're known as bats.
Okay. All right.
That's what we call them. So.
Okay. I had asked them what type of wood they have, and that one is oak, you said?
I believe that one is made out of oak.
Okay.
And I believe that one is made out of maple.
Yes.
Okay. And you even have your names on that
one of the gentlemen on our club, Doc, He turns these. He's kind of made it a hobby of himself, and he's actually selling them to different clubs now. They'll perform, or they'll give them the design that they want, and he'll turn them and whatnot. But he's actually come up with that the name, the Wyandotte Bat Company, on his own. So.
All right, now this is different. This is regular, just flat.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
There's no rule as to the length of the bat.
No?
There is a rule as to how the diameter of the bat, but it can be any length you'd like.
Okay.
Yep.
Now in this one, why do we have that little knob?
That is where the slap hitting comes into play. Because
You have to use this one?
No, you don't have to. But
It was designed for that
majority of
reason.
the time,
Designed for
it
it.
kind of gives you something else to hold on to.
Uh-huh.
So when you're slapping down at it, your hand has something to
Okay.
kind of knob against.
So normally, if you're bringing that bat with you, they know what you intend to do.
Not necessarily, because I mean, not too many people can slap hit, so you're not sure. There are a few people that, for the most part, when they come to the the plate, they're going to slap it because that's what they're known for.
Okay.
And the object, obviously we try to position ourselves to get them out.
Okay. We have the general number of players on the team.
Yeah, there's still 9.
Positions.
Yeah, there's
no
still 9.
a roving.
No,
outfielder.
there's no extra.
The rover, as you refer to, is actually the shortstop. The shortstop was known as the rover. He would be able to move around the field anywhere
Okay.
as to where the hitter would hit to. But we still play with a kind of a modern style infield setup where the shortstop plays in between second and third.
Okay.
We can also have as many extra batters as we'd like. So if we have 15 ball players, or I should say ballists, as we're known,
Okay.
we could have 9 in the field and then bat the extra men as in the
Okay.
lineup.
Yep.
Wow. I can see why they changed the rules.
Yeah, some of our rules are very confusing, and
Uh-huh.
to try to explain them on here would be fairly difficult. Because even during the match, if it happens, it's hard to explain, why it happened and how it happened and what caused it. And so we do the best we can in this particular circumstances. And each club that we play we don't necessarily all play by the same rules, depending on which era you played by. If you played by 65 rules, you play by the bound, which means in fair territory, if the ball bounces once and you gain possession of it, now the striker is out.
Okay.
So we play by the catch rule, which means in the fair territory, you actually have to catch it in the air.
Okay.
So there are some variances. So depending on where you travel to or who travels to you, you have to explain. Okay, what are your ground rules for this particular match?
All right. So then you abide by that.
Correct.
Okay. What type? Is that a 15-inch or 12-inch or what?
Balls back then were normally in between 8 and 10 inches.
8 and
This
10?
is a replica of what they would use in 1867. What's unique about it is modern baseballs are made of 2 pieces of leather. That is made out of 1 piece of leather.
So where do you buy these now?
There is a company out of Connecticut that they make them. There's a few companies that make them, and each club finds what is most suitable for their style of play, and they buy those.
Okay.
So and those now they run about $12 a ball. So
The cranks aren't allowed to keep the foul balls.
yes, no. we normally only have one ball per match, and unless something happens.
And
but-
hope that you don't
Yes.
have to worry.
Correct.
Okay.